So today we're going to use Lync to show how we can do PD with teachers in a couple of different ways. First of all, we need to be logged into our Lync account. So with your Office 365, you should have your username password that you use for email. So first thing I need to do is find my Lync that I've downloaded on my machine. I'm using Windows 8. So I can hit Windows key C, or I can take my finger and swipe and bring up what we call the charms bar over here. And if I hit search, it brings up my search bar, and I can type in Lync. It should bring up my Lync 2013. I can click right there and we can open it up. If I've logged into Lync before with my username and password, a lot of times it will save that, which is fine. So it's going to log me in, and I'm listed as the trainer for Macon County Schools. So I want to talk about a couple things you'll see here. With Lync, you'll see a tag up here that you can just put different things. I'm having a great day. What is new today? You'll see the name. You see availability. A couple of things you need to know about that. It actually pulls information from your calendar, your Web Outlook calendar on email. So if you're in a meeting or different things, it will show if you're busy or not. That doesn't stop people from calling you, but if you set it to do not disturb, you will not get any calls. So that's the only way to do that. We'll talk more about that in a little bit later. Location. You'll see three icons here. One is your contacts, and you'll see groups and status, relationships, and new. And then you'll see a little icon here that looks like add a contact. We'll talk about that in just a minute. You look here, it shows all your calls, missed and calls, and we'll see a couple of those. And then it shows if you have any meetings today. So obviously I haven't got anything. I was doing some on the job training today. And then you have this little cog here which will show your file where you can sign out, change addresses. I can do a meet now, tools, and help. It shows menu bar. That corresponds with this up here, so it's the same menus that you have there. So first thing I'm going to do is hit my contacts here, and I'm going to look for Jill Pierce. Type in Jill, so it pulls up everybody that's in my system that I've contacted to before that. So I see Jill here. Now, a couple of things I can do right now with Jill's position. I can right-click on her, and I can say Add to Contacts, and you see there. I can change privacy. I can say she's a colleague, friend or family, and it gives me different permissions that I can do, and you can read those right there, work group. I can also go to Contacts and look at my groups, and I've got favorites. And you see Jill's already there, but I can click right here where I can create a new group, add a contact to my organization. And one thing is I can also add Skype contacts now. So Skype integrates with Lync. So that's a nice thing to have. But we're basically using this how we do PD. So I need to contact Jill. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to send her an IM. So I contact her there, and I'm going to say, you available for training on SkyDrive Pro. And before I hit enter, which will send the IM to her, you'll see font, she's smiley face in there. Now, Jill has to be logged into her Lync account also, so we'll send it. Hopefully she will get it, and she should get a little icon that says, oh, you've got an IM, and she can say accept, and then she can answer me. And you'll notice that as she types, you can see if she types, and she's telling me that she's available. So I'm going to do a little call with her so she can hear me. Her call should be answering. And I'm going to ask Jill to mute hers, and she can mute it by clicking down here. on this little icon here, and she can mute her call. So I'm not going to do that right. I'm going to say, Jill, can you hear me? I want you to mute your call so you can hear what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. And she's going to say yes. Yes, I have muted. So I get that back from her, and you'll see that it has her contact information and all that stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do is say, okay, now Jill, if you can't hear me or anything changes, just IM me. And she says okay. So if you'll notice, when I click down here on this desktop, I can go desktop, program, PowerPoint, whiteboard. So it gives me a lot of options. For right now, we're going to share my desktop. But before I do that, I'm going to open up, and I'm going to go to my Office 365, and I'm going to log in. And it's opening up to my web app. And I'm going to click right here and click on SkyDrive. So we're into her SkyDrive. We're into my SkyDrive, so we're going to click back on, and I'm going to click right here on desktop, and I'm going to share my desktop with her. And it's going to say, do you know you can share your whole desktop? So you got to be aware that everything on your desktop will be available for them at that time. If I go up here to the top, you'll see connecting. So it's actually giving connect, and on her end, on Jill's end, she can accept the content, and then it will load it where she can see me. Jill, can you see my screen? And waiting for her to answer. And there she goes. Okay, so we're all good. Looks like she had a little delay there. So I'm actually going to minimize this for just a second. I'm going to say, if you need anything, you can IM me or unmute your mic and talk to me. And I'm going to say, Jill, typically you're in your Outlook. And I'm going to start doing training calendar. And then we're going to click over here. So now you have an option to hit your SkyDrive Pro. So first thing we're going to talk about is creating documents. So as I'm doing this on her Lync call, she can see everything that I'm doing, and she can respond with questions or anything through IM, or she can unmute and talk to me via audio. The great thing about this is sometimes teachers can't really have the audio, so it allows them to do it text-based too while you're doing training. So I'm going to say, why don't you create an Excel document? She clicks on, and I want her to follow along, and I'm going to say test for Jill. Okay. And we're going to talk about creating those documents there. So I can basically go into anything on my desktop and do one-to-one training with anybody using Lync. Now at any time I can go back to the Lync client, and where I'm presenting I can change over to a program, and if I click on program and showing PowerPoint, it'll also let me pull up a whiteboard if I'm doing several people at once. I can also do a poll. So it gives me, and I can type a question and they can see it on their end. So it allows me to cover the basis of any type of presentation. I can also go up here and give Jill control. So once Jill has control, I can anytime she has anything that she needs to say, She can also release her control. And it comes back to me. So at any point, you'll see everything on the screen that you need, and I can pop between my IM screen and ask Jill, does she understand how to open Excel? And then she can type in yes. At any point, I can click down here and I can invite more people to this. If she tells me that I have teachers that need to do, I can actually click on this and find another person that I can invite. Right now, Melsant's in a meeting, but I could invite her too, or I could type up here and search for anybody and pull them up and invite them to the meeting. So it gives me a lot of control where I'm coming from as far as anything that I'm doing. If I want to do a video call, I can start my video. And it allows me to control what I want to do and mute. If I go over here and then I can exit out, I can say stop my video. If I click over here, I can also record anything that I'm doing, so to refer to it later. So I can start a recording, I can manage my recordings. It gives me a lot of flexibility for doing PD. And this is just one area that we use this for. At any time, I can ask Jill, well, do you understand? And we'll disconnect the call. So all I need is a yes from her or a question. If she gives me a yes, I'm going to say, well, Jill, we'll see you soon. Goodbye. And she tells me the same thing, and we disconnect.